Oh, we're
live!
Yes,
Here we
live.
are.
Yay.
Hi. So we have been traveling the whole morning, and to be honest, I'm so tired. I could sleep while standing. We had to get up around 4 o'clock, and I'm like just not used to getting up that early. But we're here. We made it, and we're now at my parents' place. Actually, it's in Switzerland. We're in Switzerland currently. And it's the house I grew up in, and this is the place where my grandparents used to live. They have passed early this year, and my parents already have renovated some things, and we're going to have a beautiful retreat this week here, and leading a beautiful retreat here, which is so amazing, and we can't wait to start this workshop. But we're not here to talk about the workshop, this retreat today. We're here to talk about something else. Actually, Bas is going to talk today a bit more,
but Priska's going to talk as well.
I'm going to say some nice things in between.
I see Miriam is there.
Hey Miriam!
Yoo-hoo!
Yoo-hoo!
Can you give us a sign if you can hear us properly?
Yeah, it's a bit.
Is it loud enough, or is it? Can you tell us a bit about the sound?
I have the feeling we're echoing here because it's quite an empty room. But I think, babes, let's just start.
Yes, but if the sound really is not good, then we have to do something about it.
Like what?
Maybe move to another place.
Hi, Holly. Hi.
Can anyone give us a little thumbs up to
the
show that the sound is good? If we are.
It's perfect. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Let's start.
Okay. Last time Priska had the most words. And today I'm going to talk a little bit more because I want to give you my perspective, my feelings, the things that I went through when I fell in love with Priska while still being married, because this actually was the case. I have been married for 13 years, 12. Between 12 and 13 years. I have 2 beautiful kids. They are 13 and 11 now. I'm not going to talk about them, nor about my ex-wife. But I want to give you like a little bit of an intro about what my situation was. I was working as a teacher, Dutch language and drama, and I did coachings. I had education in coaching. Thank you, Jitske. Sounds great. And my life was good, actually. My life was good. I had a nice job. I did nice things. I saw friends. We went to the forest in the weekends. I did the groceries. I brought my kids to school. I watched movies with my then wife, and it actually was not a bad life. It was quite a good marriage. But there are always, actually already from the beginning when I was with my ex-wife, there were always certain things that especially I had a problem with. There were like patterns in our dynamics in the relationship that really were, for me, were hard to accept. And sometimes they went away again, and then they all of a sudden came up again. So throughout of the marriage, it was always a bit like this. And at one point, I really had the feeling, okay, I have to accept it or I have to make a choice. But there never was this moment where I really felt strong enough or brave enough or courageous enough to make a decision, because it was not like in your face, and it was something that was very hard on a daily basis. But it was, do you know that feeling that something is constantly nagging somewhere in the back of your head? And therefore you cannot really live full throttle, there's always something that keeps you back. Well, this was actually what was going on, and I had a hard time putting my finger exactly on it, what it was, but it was this feeling of that I really could not describe properly, which made me feel that I was not completely in the right place. But hey, it was good enough. And I know this sounds horrible, actually. It was good enough, but this was the feeling I had. And when I look back, I actually settled for less, because I had big ideas and big dreams. And since I was a boy, I already was dreaming about having this incredible love relationship with someone where we really could find each other on the deepest levels. Really, as a boy, I already was busy with these kind of things, which is kind of crazy actually, because mostly boys are not thinking about these things. So I really believe that I could not get that in this life. So actually I believed, okay, this is my life, this is a good life, and this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, for the following years. And this actually I somehow accepted, but still what I already said, in the back of my head there was this feeling. And then in 2015 we went into a Facebook group. It was an international Facebook group. It was about spirituality, about meditation, about these kind of things.
Those are questions.
Maybe there are questions. So if there are questions throughout this live, please ask it, because I'm really open and really fine to answer any question that comes up.
Because we know it's a very polarizing topic.
Yeah.
So we're very aware of the whole thing.
Yeah, and I can understand there maybe also are ladies in the group who have experienced it from the other side, being the woman that has been left because their guy fell in love with someone else, which actually happened with me. We went in this. I went into this meditation group internationally. Priska was there as well, and there was immediately a very special connection. But it really felt like a very beautiful friendship.
Yeah, because just from my perspective on this, I saw, because his ex-wife was also in this group, and I really thought they're this power couple. I had no idea what was going behind the scenes. I didn't know that Bas was not so happy. For me, I was adoring them as a couple, as a family. So there was zero thoughts of me that this could be something romantically. Also because, I'm going to be honest, he just was not my type. And he's also 11 years older, and he's living in the Netherlands, and he's a father, and he's married. No, it was no thought, just as a back information.
Yeah, and with me actually neither, because I was married, so I was never engaging with Priska within the back of my head, okay, maybe this will be... So it was really a friendship, and we really connected, and we had so many things in common. And we had the same humor. We could laugh like enormously, like idiots. We could talk very deep about spirituality, about things in life, about art and music and books and everything. And at one point, the group decided to do on the Sunday some sort of a global meditation. So everybody would at the same time tune in and would start meditating actually. And right from the start, like the first Sunday evening we were doing that, it was, I really still get goosebumps. It was that Priska was there. She was sitting in front of me. I really had the feeling that I almost could touch her.
Well, I was in Switzerland, he was in the Netherlands. So.
Yeah, so we were in different countries, and still she was sitting in front of me, and I really could feel her and touch her and connect with her, and we could look into each other's eyes. And this scared the shit out of me, because one, it had never happened to me, and also because I felt so much, I would not say immediately love, but there was so much openness and so much connection, and really my heart sprung open in this very moment. And this was scary, because when something happens on an emotional level, the mind immediately comes with stories. Okay, what does this mean? Do you have to anticipate on it? So it was really I was really in this, I don't know what is happening here, but it's scaring the shit out of me. And I didn't tell Priska what happened. I told nobody. And then the next week, the next Sunday, the same thing happened all over again. And it felt as like such a key thing, like such an important thing, that at one point I really had a feeling I have to share this with Priska, because it's happening between the two of us, and maybe it doesn't mean nothing, but maybe it means a lot. And what does it mean? Like I read so much things about soulmates and twin flames, and that you can have this spiritual, non-romantic relation or connection with someone. And so I really thought about all the options. And then after the second meditation, I reached out to Priska via a messenger, and I said, I have to tell you something. This actually happened already twice now. Maybe you can tell.
Yeah, he told me that, and this is when shit hit the fan, because the exact same thing happened to me in Switzerland. It felt like he was in my space, and I was just so scared of that, because of course, I mean, like, because I felt love, very clearly love, and I was just scared, like so scared. And at first I thought I'm going bonkers, because again, I thought they're a happy couple, and I mean, like, who wants to fall in love with a guy who's married? Seriously, no one, really no one. And I also have had very high standards. I actually still have quite high standards there, still working on that. You know, about if a man is taken, he's taken. You're not getting into this. You're just leaving your hands out of this, and you're not. Yeah, you know, it was just a no. But it was just there. He was there. He was visiting me. So when he opened up to me and shared his story, I was just having a very bad nervous breakdown first, crying on the floor, very dramatic, but it happened like that. Because I felt, what the fuck? Because if this happens to him, it happens to me. Both, we don't want it actually, and still it happens. It has to mean something, right?
Yeah. I have to say something to Jessica. She says, "Hey, Cuzzy," and it's I'm going to put it in between a very short side story. Her mother connected to me through the internet like a couple of months ago, and we never had contact. And her mother is actually a cousin of my mother, but when they were very small, they immigrated to New Zealand. So I never have been in contact with them. And now through her mother, Jessica Standing Rock is in this group. And so, hi, Jessica. It's cool. So this was very, for both of us, this was a very exciting, also
beautiful,
but also scary, fearful
thing. Yeah.
I actually immediately told my wife, because I'm not a guy that is good in keeping secrets. I also never understand how people, for example, can cheat for months or years without telling. I could never do that. So I immediately told my wife what had happened, and my wife actually was kind of relaxed. She was like, because my wife is also spiritual, like not in the floaty in the air, but in a grounded way, spiritual. And we already had talked about, okay, there are different kinds of love, there are different kinds of energetic connections. So I told my wife, and she was, yeah, well, this can happen. Like, she also read about like soulmates and twin flames, and so she actually was kind of cool with it, which also for me, when I think about it back, also was for me some sort of a safe feeling that I could proceed with it, and not with the goal of, because I think there's something more, because I really still had this feeling that it was an energetic, beautiful, spiritual connection. So actually we started talking more, started chatting more, and the connection became stronger and stronger and deeper and deeper.
And the guilt grew and grew.
The guilt grew, yeah, because at one point I also started integrating this feeling, it must be more, and I felt more and more love.
And just that you know, when we're talking about the time, we got to know each other in, I think in July. We connected in these meditations in August.
Yeah.
And true. Then in October, you already were in Switzerland.
Yeah. So you gave a fast forward.
Sorry, I was just thinking,
No, it's okay.
Fast forward, you were in Switzerland.
Yeah, that's true. Because at one point the feeling was so strong, the pull And I know this sounds stupid. What's a pool? What's a fucking pool? Like, you can also say, oh, I feel a pull and I do not anticipate on it.
Or it can also be a sexual pull.
It can also be a sexual pull. But it really felt very pure and very, I cannot even describe it. It felt like something on a higher level almost.
Like, for me, it felt like it's something that's inevitable. Like, we just have to do it. And if we don't do it, something's going to miss. It's going to...
And it's also, like, there have also been people that say, yeah, you're just spiritual bypassing because actually you wanted this woman, like, sexually and whatever. But it really did not feel like that. And I really, up to this day, I really have not the feeling that I was spiritually bypassing or putting it under a spiritual cloak to proceed with what I was doing. So at one point I expressed to Priska and to my then wife, like, I have to go to Switzerland because I have to find out what this exactly is. Because if I do not find out, then there will always be like this missing or a black hole, because I don't know what it is, and then my mind goes bonkers and I'm going to fill in things, and I really need clarity. Maybe it's just a twin flame-ish relationship, but maybe it's more.
A twin flame, which most people actually connect twin flame with the big one. I think you have to just, because for you, twin flame can also be just energetic kind of connection for him.
For me, it doesn't have to be romantic. For me,
it
can also be like can also be two guys who are not in love, who connect on a very deep.
This is for me more soulmate actually, but anyways, we don't have it with labels.
No.
We're not so good with that. So, but anyhow, twin flame. What are you reading?
Peggy, this is awesome to hear your story. Thank you for listening.
Switzerland.
Yeah, so I went to Switzerland, and then because Switzerland in Basel has like 3 countries exits: Switzerland, France, and Germany. And I was at the Swiss because I thought, yeah, she's Swiss, so I'm going to the Swiss one. And I was standing there, and then I asked Priska, "Where are you?" Because I'm already standing there. And then she was at the German.
No, the French.
Of the French. And then she said, wait, I'm coming. And then it was actually quite funny because I was standing there, and at one point I saw this woman running, and I was laughing my ass off, and then she heard my laugh, and
I ran past him. That's the funny part, because I just didn't see him. I just somehow ran past him.
Yeah, and then without looking at me, she threw herself in my arms. Hopefully it was me.
Yeah, I just felt it. That's the right guy.
And then we stood there, and immediately I felt in my body, in my energy, emotionally, I felt, oh, now it's getting really scary, because it's not only energetic. This is it. This is it. This is what I always have been dreaming about. It really felt like puzzle pieces were finally moving into each other. So this was really scary as shit.
You make me cry here.
So I then spent 3 days, I think, in Switzerland.
Yeah.
And
I have to tell this funny detail. I was, at this time when he was coming to Switzerland, I'm an actress, and I used to play in a play, a woman, and it was the opening night. He was actually sitting at the opening night, and I was playing a woman who fell in love. She was a married woman with a child, falling in love with a much younger guy over the internet. I was just like, we were playing our story just like in the reversed roles. It was just crazy.
Yeah.
And it was called Real Life, and we were meeting in real life in this very week that I had this opening night there.
So this was a very cute detail.
Yes, crazy.
So I was there for 3 days, and actually when I went back to Holland, I knew already, but I didn't want to hear Priska's side. I didn't want to hear what her decision would be, and I didn't tell what my decision would be, because I really wanted to make a decision on my own.
Yeah.
Because my whole life I have been making decisions for other people based on situations or opinions of other people, and really this was, and again it sounds crazy, but this really was my moment. I had to choose for myself. I didn't want to be influenced by Priska. It had to be purely what I wanted. And the decision was that I wanted to be with Priska. So the result was that I had to file for a divorce. And that is exactly what happened. And like it was in 2015, so there have been almost 4 years
of work
past and of work. And I can tell it now easily, but it really was fucking hard labor. It was not a walk in the park. I really had to somehow deconstruct myself almost and build myself up to find, okay, who am I actually? What is important to me? What do I want? How do I want to connect and communicate with people around me that are important to me, people who I love and who I care for? And I also, like, almost a couple of months later, I fell into a burnout. I went, how do you say that?
You got sick?
I got sick.
You had pains, many
pains in my head. And like this, these are all reasons, or actually signs, that I really had to go through.
A birth canal.
Yeah, it was like a rebirthing. I had to go through. I always say it, serve your ash time, like what, Cinderella? Is it Cinderella? No, it's not Cinderella. The girl who has to clean the house for
Cinderella.
Is it Cinderella?
Yeah, Aschenputtel.
Oh yeah, Cinderella. Like she has to be in the cellar and she has to clean all the ashes and do the dirty work in order to find out who she actually is, the princess that is going to marry the prince. And it really felt like that. I really had to dive deep and really dance with and face my shadows, and really deconstruct myself and find out the authentic man that I actually was, but that I didn't know anymore in this life because of adjusting to situations, adjusting to society, do what people around you expect from you, being the good man, all these things together. So this was actually
it. There's no question.
No question. And the important thing for me was, during this whole process, that I really, although it was scary like shit, being truthful to all the people around you, being truthful to my ex-wife, being truthful to my children, being truthful to Priska, because also, like, we decided when we started with each other, when we came together, we both decided we are going to be cutthroat honest with each other. So even if it pains you, even if it hurts you, even if I say something that you might think, oh my God, this hurts me so much, I want to run away, we have to be cutthroat honest in order to be the persons that we actually are, because I want you to fall in love with the authentic man that I am, and vice versa as well. So this was really a commitment we made. And by making this commitment, I could only be honest to everybody. So I also told my ex-wife the whole thing and everything, and she was, of course, devastated, of course. And now, after many years, she came to a point that she understands more what happened, that she also can see her role in the thing and our connection, that it was just not, also for her, not what she actually wanted from a marriage. But back then it was like really like that. It was really hardcore. But I'm glad it happened, because I feel so much more authentic and real and lively and connected and in love and loved. And yeah, so for me the important thing is that you really, if something happens, because there are so many men, or I also hear from women who have a relationship with a married man, and I'm not here to judge because every situation is different. I know that, and it's not easy to sometimes make a bold decision. I know that. But these situations are also places where you can dive into and really connect with yourself. What do I actually want? What do I really want? Do I want to be honest? Do I want to stay in a half-half situation where I actually do not live my full truth and cannot give the people around me what they deserve? So it's so important to, especially in these kind of hard situations where love is involved and pain is involved and guilt and shame, to take these opportunities to really redefine yourself and redefine the connections that you want to have with the people around you. I talk so much that I have like an itch in my throat now. I'm going to see if there are some questions.
Fabulous. Honesty is the best policy. Authenticity is so key. What does it take to have that happen in the partner who is married? To be honest and authentic with him or herself. You know, Peggy, all you can do is be honest with yourself. It starts with you.
Yeah.
Because you cannot make somebody be honest with themselves. It's just something that you cannot do for somebody else. But what you can do is staying true to your heart. And I know a bit about the situation you're in. So I really think it's about taking a stand for your truth and claiming what you need. And also like living the consequences from your decisions.
Yeah.
Because you cannot make another person. It's the same. I couldn't make him choose for me. I didn't actually even want to. A part of me, of course, wanted him to choose for me, but a part of me was also so scared because we're talking about this in another video, what it means to be the other woman. It's a fucking hard place to be.
Yeah.
And it's something that goes on. It's not just done in a year or 2 years. It's you have to have a thick skin and you have to beat society, that like the society stamp that is going to be put on your forehead. And it's not easy. So you have to find out what is your truth in this and stick to that truth. As I did. I really stick to my truth. I was very clear I would not go to fight for him. I would not pull or push or anything. I was more the ones like, yeah, just go back.
Don't
you know. No, really, because I was just so scared from the consequences that could happen. So for me, this was very clear. I would not be the one waiting for him. I would not like go into an affair with him. It was very clear when he came to Switzerland. I paid for a place at my neighbor was exactly in that week away, and we could just have her like rent her apartment, which was just amazing and such a coincidence. And yeah, so it was very clear for me that I'm not going to like having an affair. I'm not going to like wait for the man. I'm not going to push, pull. I'm just being myself. And if he's choosing for me, then I have to make a choice.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's really about feeling what your truth is and try to live this truth. We always say like the sword of truth.
Mm-hmm.
And
to cut through all the
bullshit, because this is really what it is, and it is not easy because of the decision I made. I got like people said, oh, you're in a midlife crisis. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're thinking with your dick.
Mm-hmm. Just an 11-year younger woman.
Yeah, you want just a green leaf that you can nibble on. Oh, you must be unhappy in your marriage, and then you run away because of that. And in every thing lies a little bit of truth, but people judge so much based on their own pain, because actually when they judge, they actually retell their own story. Like, I was not in a midlife crisis. I did not only, if I have to be very honest, only think with my dick. It's such a big, multicolored, multi-layered thing, and there will always people who judge you, always. And this is scary because once you step into your truth, there will be more people even who think you are stupid, short-sighted, egocentric, selfish. And this is okay as well, because that's their story.
And you make yourself visible
by
stepping into your truth, because most people don't dare to do that. So it's so easy to judge if somebody's in the light, because it's so easy to stay in the dark and judge people from out the safe space. And what we actually want to say is, like, if you're choosing your truth, and we're not pro breaking up your marriage, it's not about that. It's just about finding out what is your truth. Are you really living your truth, or are you just taking over ideas and beliefs that society just puts on you, and you stick to it? This is what we want to ask you to look at. To really, am I being the person I'm meant to be? Or am I actually cutting half of it off? Or am I hiding my truth? Or am I hiding who I actually am? Or I'm playing small? Because only when we are living our full truth, and of course this is like, we're growing and this is expanding and this is always ever changing. But when we can stand in our truth, we can also attract the partner that fits that truth. Because before I met Boss, we already talked about it last time, I've done a lot of work about finding out who I am and who fits me. And this is why, and he did the same. He did the same. And this is why we just knew, that's it. We were ready for each other. This is why we met. And this is why the truth is required.
And if you go into this journey, this self journey of where you want to find out what your authenticity is about, be honest to yourself. Because there are also people, including me, I also have done things, and then I tried to talk it good. Yeah, but I did it for this reason, and I felt like that, so it actually was like the next thing to do for me. It was okay. And then in the background, there was always this feeling, yes, but you're not authentic now, you're not honest. But if you can be aware and conscious and still go for your truth, then it's okay. And then you can step out in this light, and then you can really live it. Even though there will be people who bash your head, who want to cut your throat or call you names or whatever, but then it's really authentic.
And then you can take it.
Then you can take it.
Then you can take it, because you know your truth. If I wouldn't have known my truth, and again, talking about this in another video, but what I have been called from other people, it would have killed me. Literally, it would have killed me. It would have destroyed me. But as I felt my truth, and I knew from the place where I was coming from, that I was acting from a pure heart, that there was no game, that this was real, therefore I could take it, and I could say, okay, this is actually a mirror for you. And of course, it took time as well.
And it's always a mirror, because we have also been talking to these persons that really were talking very nasty about us and about our love. And we talked in the same way like we do with you now. We really talked from a vulnerable, emotional place. And still, they saw us as egocentric, as home wreckers. So it's all like some people just stick to their own story, and they cannot see beyond, which is okay as well, because it's based on pain. It's based on their emotion.
And it's based on their reality and their truth. And if this is their truth, but it's not ours. So we don't have to fit everybody's truth, right? So that's it. That's
the story for today. The Monday Love Bomb. If there are questions, we love questions. We already said it. We love questions. We love to answer them. Also, we love when people share their experiences. You can also share things, what you thought about this video.
You can also think, like, what we say is bullshit. Let us know, because we're open. We don't have to say it's bullshit, but we are so open for any kind of discussion, constructive discussion, where we can talk with each other. It's not about like finger pointing or anything, because you can have a different kind of opinion about this. Totally okay. It's just like in this place that we have some kind of respectful, open conversation about it. I'm totally in for that.
So really, it's also for the community. I always think when we make these love bombs, I also immediately think of the community. And it's also cool when people see stories that connect to their own story, and there's recognition, and they can share with each other. So it's really a community. It's not only about talking to or with us, it's also creating
Mingling.
a group in here where you can feel safe to share the things that happen to you, or what you feel or want to share. So please feel free, and thank you for being here.
And you know what? I'm going to show you my parents' garden now, because I think it's share-worthy. Share-worthy. I hope the connection is strong enough. La, la, la. So this is the place where we're going to have our workshop retreat the following days. And it's so nice here. So that's it.
Yeah. So from this beautiful place, we say thank you and goodbye until next Monday with a new love bomb. And thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.